Hello everyone, it is Liam the Deftones Metalhead and I'm here with the metal tag for 2024. This video has been done by tons of people and I thought I'd jump on because it's something to do for the new year, so happy new year if I haven't spoken to you since then. And yeah, this is basically just a load of questions that was started by Scott the Rock Scout a good couple of years ago now. But he's now retired from YouTube and is now a full-time tattooist and iron brew drinker by trade. And it's been taken up by the Americans, so the Metallurgy channel have taken it on, Marty and Alan. And yeah, there's some really good questions on this year's one as well, because I had to really think for a good couple of them. And it's just a bit of fun content, gets you to look at my collection. I'm not showing you new stuff or trying to pimp bands out to you. You can obviously check out all these albums I mentioned and stuff like that, but it's kind of a fun way to talk about your collection and kind of make you think. So hopefully you enjoy it. And yeah, also have to say a massive thank you to everyone who watched my last video. I got over 100 new subscribers just from doing that end of year list, and it's amazing. So yeah, thank you everyone who checked that out. I wasn't expecting that at all. And yeah, really cool way to end the year for me personally on this channel. You know, I'm nearly at 3,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. And yeah, I love you all. You're all fucking amazing. And I'll give some shout outs through this video as well, because I like to give back to people that haven't got many subscribers yet, because you know, if an idiot like me can do it, anyone can do it. But we'll crack on. So the first question for the metal tag is, name a release you're eagerly anticipating in 2024, so this year. So for me, it's actually a reissue. So one of my favourite bands ever is Solitude Aeturnus out of Texas, and they've kind of got together this year and they're doing some special things, which I'll mention later in the video for another question. But they're putting out a reissue of a like a live album they did in the mid-2000s out in Poland. And if you watch their YouTube channel, they're all back together, they're all doing content on there now. And they mentioned that they were never happy with the mix, because it was released, and I have it back there somewhere, like on a live DVD as a CD version of it as well. But they were never happy with the mix. So this one's a brand new remix, done by the band themselves for 2024. I think there might be even a new single on there, but I don't know. But it's got the original guys all on there. And it's amazing. So yeah, really looking forward to grabbing that if I can. Probably not, because it probably won't get distributed over here, but you never know. So anyway, question 2, Chinese New Year. 2024 is the year of the dragon, so show an album either inspired by or containing dragons on the cover. Now I've got quite a few that have already been shown, Noogie Malmsteen, Dio, but I thought I'd go with some Death Doom and an undead dragon. So I went with the latest EP from Disma. This is an American Death Doom band with their Empyrium EP or something like that. And if you can see here, there is like a zombie dragon in the background of that wicked artwork. So that is my answer to that question. Disma, Death Doom, prefer their debut full length, but this is a decent EP. I think that came out in 2022, that did. Excuse me. Right. Question number 3. What was your favourite album that you acquired in 2023? Now this is a personal album. So when I got married to my wife, I don't even know how many years ago it is now, I never remember. But we got married, and we had a very specific requirement when we first met, that we joked about having this particular song as our first dance if we ever did get married. And that was the album she bought me. I've been after this for such a long time on LP. This is Deftones' Diamond Eyes, and that track there was our first dance. So it means a lot to me personally. I'm not a massive Deftones fan. I have liked him when I was a teenager. I grew up in the new metal phase, so it was inevitable I was going to like Korn, Deftones. I've still never liked Limp Bizkit or Slipknot, mind. But yeah, she got me this for Christmas, and I was really happy, because this is not cheap to find. I've got the CD, I've had the CD for years. But to have it on vinyl is very special to me. And it was a nice little gift for my wife, because it's like a sentimental thing. So yeah, I mean, we had a wicked wedding. We had like Slayer, Rain and Blood, mosh pits, the whole fucking lot. So yeah, it was good fun. Then ABBA for all the non-metal heads. So it was a good fun. Good night. Loved it. So yeah, Deftones' Diamond Eyes is that one. Number 4 is was there a title in 2023 that you were satisfied to purchase digitally or not on physical media, and why? So the last time I bought anything digitally would be probably the very first time I used Bandcamp back in 2012, maybe 2013. There was a certain demo at the time that I couldn't find anywhere, and I had to have it. And I think it was back then linked to the Play Store as well, when that was a thing, when Google had their own little music store that you could buy stuff from. But that's a long time ago. But since then, I use Spotify. The whole family use Spotify. We use it all the time. The kids right now are in bed. They have Spotify playing in the background. They have their own little playlists. They have their own little family account, so it doesn't fuck up with my stats. So they don't end up hearing nothing like brutal, satanic war metal or something like that when they're half asleep. They all have their own little tunes. And it's the same for me. I obviously collect physical media. I love physical media way more than digital music, but Spotify is incredibly convenient and really nice when you're on a long drive. Say if you're doing that 3 or 4 hours, you don't have to try and fucking change the CD every 5 minutes when you're driving down like the M4 or something like that. So yeah, I get people while they do it, but Spotify kind of makes it pointless to buy a digital album because you can stream it. Question 5. Show an album that musically doesn't match the cover art. Now this one, still to this day, baffles me why this album looks the way it does, because it doesn't sound the way it looks. The band is called Arkenstone, which is a Lord of the Rings thing for starters. And this is called Dead Human Resource. Now, you look at that, you're going death metal, aren't you? Straight away. No question. You wouldn't even question it. You would assume it's some low budget, never heard of death metal album, right? You've got tracks like Righteous Murderer, World of Corruption, Pain, Horror, Stigma, Dead Human Resource, But there's tracks in there like called Majestic Tales Untold, and I'll leave links below so you can hear these albums I'm talking about. And it is a thrash power metal album. And they started off as a power metal band, hence the name Arkenstone. And they've carried it on, but look at that. You would never in a million years guess. And this is like basically a thrash album, and then it turns into a power metal album. Halfway through the songs, like the vocalist ditches the kind of gruntled, shouty style and goes into this like really average, high-pitched power metal singing style. So yeah, go and check out for yourselves. But that blew my mind when I first ever heard that. That was a gift in a VCLT, and to this day it always makes me smile because I was convinced it was death metal, and it really isn't. I have to apologise as well because I've had a cold for like a month now, and this is the best I've felt in ages today. Right, question number 6. Who is the metal artist that you own the most items by? That is an easy one for me. I was going to do a picture of it, but I can't be asked. It is My Dying Bride. The hat is a giveaway, but I've got all their studio albums, bar the Evinta one, which is just an orchestral thing, so I wasn't really fussed about that, but I will get it at some point. I've got all the live albums on DVD and CD. I have a ton of t-shirts by them, hoodies, vinyl CDs, no tapes though, now I think about it, but it's well into the 20s that I have of My Dying Bride and different various things. Like for example, I have this book to pull here, which is a history of the band, but also in the back of it you have choice cuts from both Aaron and who else chose some tracks, Andrew as well, the original guitarist. So that's quite nice, but it's got a nice biography. Peaceful did these really nice books, but you've got the history of the band. I fucking love them. I've only seen them live twice. I saw them not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago in London, just before Christmas with Paradise Lost, and I was like a kid in a candy shop. I loved it. I was grinning. I had a sore face from smiling so much. I don't realise until I watched them live how much I love that band. Don't listen to them too much these days because I've got so much music to listen to, but when I do, I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, My Dying Bride. Excuse me. Right, question 7. Show an album that you blind bought in 2023. And that would be this one, Lamp of Murmur. I don't even know what it's called. Submission and Slavery. Now, the only reason I blind bought this because I knew I'd like it, because I love his music. I think he's a really good artist. And that kind of raw black metal, but it's very riffy, very atmospheric, very, very catchy. And I never even heard a note of this one. I just saw it and I thought, if I don't get it now, I'm going to regret it, because these disappear, especially in the UK, like wildfire. They are so hard to get hold of. Like his new one now, just to import it from Holland, I think it's well over 40 quid. I'm never going to pay that for one record. But I got this for like less than 15 quid from some random weirdo who was selling black metal, and his customer service skills weren't the best. And it took a long fucking time to get here, even though he lives about an hour away from where I live. But he got there in the end, and I have it now, so I couldn't give a monkey's. And funny enough, his distro doesn't exist anymore, so he's either had a breakdown or he's just vanished off the face of the earth. Who knows? But there it is. Lamp of Murmur. Very much an overhyped band in the black metal world if you look online, but he is very good. So yeah, that's the answer to that one. Show a title that you own two. This is question 8. Show a title that you own more than one format of. So I don't tend to double up on albums. I see some people that buy every single pressing, and I just don't understand that. I mean, I get it if you love the band, but even then it's like you could only listen to one of them at a time anyway, and you wouldn't buy the same album in different formats to not listen to them and only look at them. And even then, would you even look at them? They're probably just sitting there gathering dust until you peg it and your kids or your family have to go through it and kind of decide what it even is it, because they probably won't even know what it is. But there is an album I have two. I mean, most bands I only have a maximum of two, and this is one of my favourite albums ever. And I have the original CD here. It's Solitude Aeturnus, Beyond the Crimson Horizon. I think it came out in like 92, something like that. And I've mentioned this band, I know already, but I fucking love this band. Especially, it's just everything is perfect for me from these guys. Like, they can't do no wrong. I love them so much. And I also have the repress from Music on Vinyl that came out, I think last year. There's only 1,500 of them. I mean, the original one for this I nearly got, and it went over to like 120 quid on eBay. I'm never going to pay that. I have the first album on the original press, and I would like to get that again, because that one's marked. That's why I got it so cheap. So it'd be nice to get repress of that one. But yeah, Beyond the Crimson Horizon, if you've never listened to this, why not? It's an amazing album. I love it. I absolutely love it. What are we on now? Question 9, Bookworm. So, show a release conceptually inspired by literature. So that was actually quite an easy one for me. A lot of people have struggled with this, but for some reason this one popped straight in my head. Now, excuse me. Now, I used to read a lot of like kind of fiction, sci-fi, and stuff like that. Nowadays I just read kind of music literature and stuff like that. I can't really. I probably will do at some point as I get older, but I like video games as well, so I kind of end up doing that. But there was a period of time in my early 20s that I read the Malazan Empire books. I'll put a picture up of it so it explains it, by Stephen Erickson, and I do own a lot of them. I have no idea where they've gone. They're not in here, and they're not at my parents' house, which I was convinced they were. So either my mum and dad have thrown them away, or they're somewhere. But this band here, Caladan Brood, which is an American black metal band, this is all inspired by that book series. I think Caladan Brood is actually a general or like a war chief in that book series. And yeah, this is atmospheric black metal. Loads of people know about this, but what you didn't know is it's actually inspired by a series of novels of this big, massive world. It's kind of on par with Lord of the Rings. Well, yeah, a bit of Lord of the Rings, but you got Game of Thrones, and then you got the Malazan Empire, and Stephen Erickson's written like 15, 16 books, and you know George R. R. Martin's written like 7. So you can see the difference, and I mean they're very hard books to get into. I mean, when I was younger, it was the information is fucking mental. Each book he chucks at you, and it dives from all sorts of places. But yeah, I remember them still to this day. I read all of them. So, and then I learned that this band is inspired by that. So yeah, Caladan Brood. Number 10. Number 10. Name a band that you would travel considerable distance to see live in 2024. Now, again, I'm going to mention Solitude Aeturnus because they are playing this festival in their hometown of Houston, Texas, in March with the original lineup plus the extra guitarists they've had since the 90s. So, a free guitar attack playing a set of classic Solitude Aeturnus stuff. I mean, I would fucking love to go see that. And you know, Robert Lowe is an amazing vocalist, and I know he's a bit hit and miss these days with certain projects, but musically on an album, he sounds fantastic. So it'd be great, and especially when they're in Houston, Texas, their home turf, they haven't got to travel anywhere. It'd be amazing just to see that and soak up that atmosphere, because I bet it'd be wicked. So yeah, that's the name of that. Would be the only gig I would ever probably be fussed about going and seeing this year, unless it was another My Dying Bride show, maybe. So yeah. Then question 11, Sour Grapes. Show a 2023 release that you enthusiastically purchased, but was then, you know, disappointed, lost interest in. And it would have to be this one, which still surprises me. Fires in the Distance with Air Not Meant for Us. This came out through Prosthetic Records. Now, their debut album I fucking loved, and I think it came out in like either 2019 or 2020, and it was in my top 5. I absolutely loved their first album, still do. Really catchy, totally different than the Deftones scene. They mixed it up completely. We've got some shred guitar instead. It's a bit more modern sound. Well, it is a lot more modern sounding. It's got synths and stuff like that. This one is basically the same, but none of the songs are memorable. Like I put this on again today while I was working just to try and see if it was what I thought it was, and it is. It's just really dull and a bit meh. Like if this was their debut, I wouldn't have been bothered by them. But it's a shame because I think the band are really cool, and you watch them live on YouTube, they sound amazing. But this album, song-wise, it just doesn't grab me nowhere near as much as the first one did. And I've listened to this a good chunk of times because I feel like I should like it because I love the first album. But yeah, not really my thing. So that's why you didn't even see it in my end of year list. So yeah, Air Not Meant for Us by Fires in the Distance. And then the Golden Child, name an artist for question 12 that you feel can do no wrong. That's an easy one again for me. And that would be Hooded Menace, Finnish Death Doom, Doomy Death. Now this album is totally different to what they've done in the past. This came out a couple of years ago, 2021, yeah, on Seasons of Mist, and they've gone for more of a upbeat, a lot more energy, shreddy guitar solos, different slight production. It's got not that kind of gruffy, horrible low-end bass tone. It's got a bit more to it. It was produced by the guitarist from King Diamond. I forget his name. It escapes me. Andy LaRocque. And it certainly sounds like an Andy LaRocque album. You can definitely hear all his guitar tones all over this. And there are the lads there wearing their hoodies. And they won a lot more fans with this album. Like they were good, and I fucking love Hooded Menace. But you know, they put this album out and they gained a whole new fan base just from this album alone, just because how catchy, how energetic it is, and how much more fun it is than their previous releases. So yeah, Hooded Menace. Not a bad album. Tell me a bad album from Hooded Menace, because it isn't one. In my opinion, anyway. Now, question 13. Overstayed welcome. Name a band that you wish would have quit when they were ahead. Now, I know loads of people probably say like Metallica, Megadeth, all those kind of bands where they started off really aggressive when they were younger, and as they got older and more famous and more richer, they just got shitter and shitter and shitter. For me, this band, I mean, I've seen them live a while ago now, but like they were good live, but creativity wise and relevance, they just do nothing anymore, and it's kind of cringy now. And that is Deicide. Now I love this live album, and you've got the Hoffman brothers there. For me, this was peak Deicide, and lots of people would say that. They've got a few good albums after that, but what problem I have with Deicide is every album is basically the same. Like it's all about I Hate God, which is fine, I don't like him either, but it's a bit creativity wise, it's just nothing. It doesn't inspire me when I hear a Deicide album now, and there's a new one coming out I think this year. I couldn't care less, because I know what it's going to sound like. It's going to be old Glenn going you know, blasts to the end of the songs, ridiculous shreddy solos, and it's all about I Hate God. But then all the albums are like that, so why would I want to check that one out when I could check all the really good ones out that I already know I like, you know? It doesn't lure me in, you know, to go, ooh, I want to hear that. It's the same with Cannibal Corpse. I have the same issue with Cannibal Corpse. They're decent, but musically they have done nothing different for fucking years. And the only thing you can say is the production's maybe got better as albums have gone on, but the same with Deicide. I mean, it's just like, come on, lads. Do something different, like anything. It could be anything, just anything different, but no, they won't. So yeah, that's for me, Deicide. I'm in a cool death metal band to a point, and it's just like, come on, lads, getting old now. Can't be that grumpy anymore, can you? Question 14. Show a band release that you bought in 2023 as a direct result of watching someone else's YouTube channel. Now, I am very fortunate enough to have lots of friends in YouTube land, and I draw upon loads of people for inspiration. I know what I like, but I watch YouTube more than I actually watch telly, or TV if you're American. And I have a premium account, so I don't even have the adverts anymore, so I can just enjoy people's videos without any bullshit. And I watch a lot of recommendations and I make lists. I put it on my Spotify to check out, and if I like it, I'll buy it. And this is one of them. I think Mark... No, that's a lie. It was Metal Marty Mac and Sean the Beast showed this album. And I had spotted it before, and it's Aquilius, which is a black metal band. I forget where from. This is put out on a Finnish label, but I don't think they're a Finnish band. I want to say Canadian, but I'm probably dead wrong. And this is just really nice, gorgeous, atmospheric black metal with lots of acoustic, melodic, folky kind of instrumental pieces in it, and it's just a really nice, chilled black metal album with epic bits in there. But I actually remember seeing this on YouTube, and I was using Vinted, which is an app to buy secondhand, like anything really now. And you can find records on there, and someone was selling this, and I remember seeing the cover and thinking, oh, that's a nice cover. A few weeks later, I see it on YouTube, and people were raving about it, so I thought, fuck yeah, I'm going to have that. And I did. I got a really good deal. Double vinyl in a single thingy. But yeah, great album. So yeah, that's that one. So cheers lads for recommending that. Righty, what's the next one? So question 15, show us an otherwise good album that ends up suffering from being too long. That is the case for loads of like the older bands that are still going on to this day. I don't know why bands like Iron Maiden's a good example. They put out that later album that I quite like, that Senjutsu, but it was just too long. I mean, I don't know what possesses them to put so much music out. Same with Metallica. It's like they have to chuck out as much music as possible. They could easily, because they've got the money to do it, just do an EP with extra songs on it, make more money that way, and you don't have to put on such a long album. But this one came out a while ago and is a death metal album. Century Media put this one out in the, I want to say in the 2000s at some point, and that is Vital Remains with De-Christianize. This has Glenn Benton from Deicide on vocals and Dave Suzuki on guitars and drums, so it's all over the top, shreddy, very riffy, very heavy. But what I dislike about this album is not the songs, it's the structure of the songs, because they write like the title track, De-Christianize, is amazing. I love that song. But they play it, and about it's about 8 minutes long, and 5 minutes in, you get to the point where you think, okay, that can end now. And then they repeat the whole song again, and then add a solo in the end. And it's like, why? You don't need to do that. So they're dragging out each riff by like 5 bars, and then they get to this penultimate point. You think, great, next track, nah, repeats itself again. And every single song does it on this whole album. Every single song does the same thing. It starts off really great. You think, brilliant, happy with that. And then they repeat it again, and sometimes again. And you think, why? You don't need to. So it's either they've just run out of ideas and they're just dragging it out to fill the disc out, because I've been guilty of doing that once, many years ago. But I don't know. So this is Tony Lazaro's band, I think it is. Obviously Dave now is in like a doom band called Church Burning, or Church, something like that, Church Burn. And obviously Glenn still doing his I Hate Jesus stuff. It's even on here he hates Jesus. But I don't know. I love this album, I really do, but it just, the songs repeat themselves so much. It just gets to the point where you're like, come on lads, rein it in. So yeah, that's my answer to that one. I'll move those over there. So this one's a fun one. So 16 and show your favourite band t-shirts, and no, it's not this Cannibal Corpse one. It's just cold, and I'm really cold, so I'm wearing this snippy little long sleeve. But for me, I want to show you a couple. So this is a fond memory. This is Bolt Thrower. Now if you've ever bought a Bolt Thrower t-shirt properly, you know you only can buy them at gigs, and they used to have this amazing price of £10 a t-shirt, and I fucking loved that. I saw Bolt Thrower twice before they called it a day, and I always used to love the merch stand. Was like a mosh pit. Everybody wanted a band t-shirt, and they'd have this whole army camouflage thing around the desk to stop people from getting in with a fence, and as soon as it opened up, everyone piled in. I saw them on the Damnation date back in 2014. I think this is one of the last shows they ever played before their drummer sadly passed away. Is it on there? Yeah, right at the bottom, the 1st to the 11th in Leeds. And I had to literally get I mean, there was a point where we were crushed by these, and my mate had the brilliant idea of just wiggling his ass back and forth like that, rubbing up against the man behind him, which made the other guy go back. And then, you know, we had loads of space after that because everyone thought we were gay, and it was hilarious. But I assure you, I'm not gay. But but yeah, I ended up getting this T-shirt, and I fucking love that one. I also have this Solitude Aeturnus T-shirt. You can't find Solitude Aeturnus T-shirts anywhere. So I've always been proud to have this one. It's a bit depressing, and my wife loves it when I wear this when I go out and about with the kids. Someone's swinging off a tree. But I love it. I love it. I love the band. I think they're awesome. And this one is one of my earliest gig memories. What's this? From 2007. So this is a Heaven and Hell shirt. This is just before Ronnie James Dio died. I saw him in Nottingham, I think. I went up there with my mate Simon on the train. We stayed in a hotel. Young lads just out of college, and we went and saw Heaven and Hell with my idol Tony Iommi, which is tattooed on my arm there. And we were right down the front, right in front of him. We had little midget Dio there in front of us, and we both caught a guitar pick from Mr. Iommi himself. It's somewhere in this office, and I love that memory. I still remember it to this day. It was one of the best gigs I ever went to. I had long hair. It had Lamb of God when they had Sacrament out, I think was the album. And Iced Earth when they had Tim Ripper Owens on vocals. It was amazing. I loved every minute of it. Changed my life, you know. I had been to a few shows prior to that, like local ones, but that was one of the first ones I actually ventured out of Norwich on my own. And yeah, I've done it ever since. So yeah, love that. Right, question 17. Share a band that's been around for at least 24 years that you think is still strong and creatively relevant. So I had a good think about this one because Metal Mickey did it, and then when he gave his little speech about it, it made me rethink my answer, because relevance can be in different factors, and for me this band are relevant for different reasons than just the band itself. So the band I've chosen is Esoteric. This band have been around since '92, yeah, from Birmingham here in England, and they're one of the first funeral doom bands, like one of the very first ones. And started the whole genre with the death metal growls. And Esoteric, they have their own sound. They don't sound like no one else, and if they do, it's because that person's copied them. They've been around for absolutely ages. This is their latest release from 2019, and this is a 3 LP album of music, so it's quite a long album. But the reason I picked this one is because Greg, the main guy behind the band, he is one of the most sought after recording engineers in the country. His studio, he has so many bands and projects go through it, and if you hear something that's been mastered by him or mixed by him, you get proper top quality. And he's still sought after around the world to this day, and that's when I think you're relevant, that you've made an impact in the music scene, you have a history, you still play gigs now and again, but you're also sought after for your talent in music, not just for writing music and being in a band, but actually producing music, creating music for other people. You know, that's something that a lot of people can say they can do. I mean, you hear albums that are done by other bigger musicians and then they just kind of disappeared into the ether, or you hear like Dave Mustaine produced some albums in the past, or you know, you hear Metallica producing their own albums, they sound absolutely wank. Greg, he can produce something that sounds marvellous. You know, like I think Thy Listless Heart was one of his recent ones he done. Ard. Yeah, those albums sound amazing. And there's a reason, like Convocation. He's done loads. He's even done ones for us, but we're not that great musically, so we won't discredit him there. But he's just a brilliant lad as well. You know, he even plays with like a Britney Spears mic on him when he plays guitar. It's fucking hilarious. But musically, it's fucking incredible to watch live. Support the band twice as well myself. So yeah, Esoteric, easy one for me. Right. 18. Share a favourite band mascot. Now I can't show you my tattoo because I'm wearing a long sleeve, but that was my first ever tattoo, and that was this skull here from Candlemas. I love that logo. Anything to do with that, and I see that, I know exactly who that is. All their albums going forward, they've had variants of it on the newer ones anyway, and you know what that logo is. As soon as you see that, you know exactly what band that is. You don't need to have any writing, you just know straight away who that is. and they're such a massive influence on me. So that was an easy one for me. You could say Iron Maiden, you could say, I don't fucking know, Asphyx have that little logo in their band logo. I think even Sodom have a certain theme behind their whole band, a tankard as well. But Candlemass for me, that is the one. Grab a question 19 is just randomly pull one from my collection, so I will, without pulling them all out at once or looking, let's go here, let's see what we've got. Oh, okay, cool. So this is Decrepid. This is just a demo EP from a London death metal band, Decrepid. Beastly band. This is Raise the Dead Records one, which is the guitarist out of this band's distro record label. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I'll leave a link to Decrepid below as well. Now they've been pulled, and you can check them out. But they're very brutal, technical death metal. Not as in technical as in shreddy, wanky nonsense. More just very good riffs, very fast, very precise, very heavy. So yeah, Decrepid. And number 20 is show an album from a metal band that others may not consider metal. And I would have to go with Empyrium from Germany. This is a blackened folk metal band, but this is their latest album from 2021, and it is a lot heavier than their previous releases, because a lot of their albums are pretty much folk albums with black metal influences, but this has a heavier doom side to it. The guitar is a bit more upbeat, the drums are more upbeat, and it has that metal edge to it, because Marcus Stock and I forget the other chap's name, he's in there. They're in other metal bands and other projects. Marcus Stock is also a recording engineer who's done a Consecration album mastering for us. I forget what, he's been in other things, but these two lads are in other heavy metal bands. But this album, yeah, was amazing. I still love this album to death. I really do. It's got that kind of folky black metal edge to it still, but it's got the doomy guitars and it's heavier on the drums. And I always put it in that metal category with the black metal edge. But some people might listen to this and go, that is not a metal album. But to me, it is, so fuck you. So yeah, Empyrium. So yeah, that is my metal tag for 2024. Before I forget, please check out the channels Max Tox Deep Shadows or something like that. I will leave a link above my head for him. Dead Flesh, Lauren, leave a link for her, and a chap called Bloodfire Doug. I saw these channels the other day when I was watching my videos that I catch up on, and none of them are above 100 subscribers, which I think is really unfair considering how many I have, and I'm shit. So I love it if you watch my videos, or you even watch this video to the end. You could go check on their channels and just subscribe. You don't have to watch any of their videos, just give them that number. And it's like a little boost for 2024 to let people know, you know, they're relevant and keep on going, because it's the hardest thing on doing YouTube is the encouragement part, because a lot of the time you could do these videos, talk to yourself for months and not really make any traction. And I was fortunate enough to make a lot of friends who helped me, so if I can help them promote their shit, I'll happily do it. So yeah, in the meantime, please take care. Thank you to everyone who watches my my YouTube videos about music. Until then, take care. Cheers.